Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome.
Only the faithful made it in today. I see 63. Wow. That's new opening low. But it is, like I said, the deadest week we could ever have. We're right between Christmas and New Year's Eve, so we kind of knew that. Well, I wouldn't say it's mass grave so much as it not in an opportune position to play, right? I'm doing my best Lex Luthor today. So 65, well, I guess this is the value proposition of the year, right? If you're still here, the market's definitely moving with some amount of volatility that kind of looks like more than what you'd expect this week to have in it. Um, it's skeleton crew. Yeah, the skeleton crew can be for many reasons. This one just happens to be a holiday, takes a lot of people out. You know how we like to say crypto loves a holiday? That really just markets like holidays. Markets can do some crazy shit around them, and there's not a lot of liquidity. They'll chop you up too, but they'll move far sometimes. Not all the time. So we're gonna take a look at a couple things. I put some Christmas goodies out on Twitter for you guys to look at to do really broad macro contexting, and then I want to put some of those things together here on the show and look at them with you now. Let me get my template for that one that I made those in. If I'm not retarded, I can remember where I made those in. That would be test. Oh, that would be so bad if I don't remember this is. Uno momento. Oh, right. Unbelievable. Seems I've lost track of the template I made it. Okay, found it. So you guys see this one I put out here yesterday? Where is it? Oh, I don't have volume on this guy. Okay. Pretty dope fractal, huh? Let me get the. Oh, did I forget to tweet this thing out? I never tweeted the show out. I knew I forgot something. Wow, I'm high as fuck. That's a mistake. Did I not tweet the show out? Holy shit. I never do that. All right, we're to show out to a rocky start. One sec. Let's me fix that. One moment. What an oversight. Damn, I knew I didn't do something. Maybe that's why there's low show openings. I forgot to tell them the motherfuckers I'm out here. All right, that's my bad. It's winter. I'm almost all here. Don't worry. We got this. All right, let's go. It has been tweeted. Damn. Done. All right. So what are we doing? Crash cycle stuff. So yeah, peep this thing out. All right. So we're looking at this thing, right? And the Fed, did aggressive rate policy. There was an Asian contagion, then there was like Clinton's impeachment, and the market topped out just going into the top of 2000 when Cisco gave a shit forward look on earnings, and the whole tech market came apart. In this de-risking process, right, it took a while before you found Enron. Enron shows up and explodes post 9/11. And it's not like market wasn't destroying companies in this wave. And you know what's funny? Look at this. This is the internet bubble. Doesn't it look like fucking nothing? It looks like absolutely fucking nothing, right? You think about it, this was the catastrophe of catastrophes that's going to happen. This landed us going into fucking Afghanistan and into fucking Iraq. Fucking crazy shit. But in its time, it is the crash cycle that you all know, love, and study, right? And as you guys know, we talk about all the time, right? Crash cycles are bull flags. What better version of it than this, right? And in the bottom of bull flags is a fractal version of the same sentiment, albeit at a much larger scale, that allows for the rotation and a cornered monopoly of perception. So when we look at this, like the last wave is the most dire wave, right? From anger to the depression, where everybody's fucking like, in tears, and they miss the opportunity for the next play. So this is interesting to see where the Fed really gets them. These guys are born of basically, having easy money to really take crazy risks and build these kinds of Ponzi dynamics inside of the system on the back of the Fed flooding the system with basically like flooding water into all the tributaries. These little bastards lurk in there and basically start to accumulate enough of it to get momentum to create this by sucking people into this thing and feeding it directly pretty much off of the Fed. So once the Fed starves it and there's no fucking influx of capital, it's basically going to reveal this thing as the water drops. This fucking, this giant fucking, boulder's going to pop up. That's this fucking Ponzi-nomics. These guys explode and they create the death that people demand fucking protection from. And literally the fucking, like, we know, FTX, people died in this. And people committed suicide in Madoff. And 100% people committed suicide in fucking in Enron, and hell, the guy, not Skilling, the other one. God, I can't think of his name. The second guy actually had a heart attack when they we're going to send him to prison. He just up and died. The guy who was close to Bush. What was his name again? What are your fucking names? One sec. I'm a little too big for this one. Somebody know those guys' names? Ken Lay. That's right. Ken Lay had a fucking heart attack right off the bat. So that whole debacle killed even his ass, and he was part of the scam. So, going back. So this is a great thing to kind of look at, right? This is literally the mega, psychology fractal, though, of a bull flag. This is still the same trauma even in a 5-minute bull flag, just albeit much lesser participants and lower scales. But this is what it takes to bottom a bull flag, right? Real trauma. So Madoff was that trauma over here, and you see it. You get your one throwdown out of it, and it's the anger. It's literally what the anger of how could this happen? How could there be a motherfucker like this? Because if any of you don't know, Madoff was the head of the NASDAQ stock exchange. He wasn't just like anybody. He's like front and center of the whole bull market. He's the NASDAQ. So he had a hell of a position to really rob a lot of people. These guys controlled like the one-of-a-kind energy trading system that was basically bullshit. So you move forward to where we are now in the cycle, and the Fed has flushed out yet another one of these fucking quails, right? Oh no, what did I just hit? Yeah, it's flushed out another of these quails out of the bush, and so if we're where we're supposed to be, this should present the event that calls for save me. And right now, Sam is exactly that, right? Like, everyone's like, how could there be something that monstrously big? Well, with the help of Genza and the whole of the fucking government being bribed, how the fuck else could it not be? But at the end of the day, that guy is going to create the death wave, which is going to create the depression, literally the trail of tears in the graveyard for the dead. That gets us to get our bottom. So I think when I looked at this, the timing for the tech side of it to have velocity is probably going to coincide with the Fed being more accommodative to the riskier side, the bigger risk side of the market, which is tech. So they need to have like a rate cycle in their favor. While I think until then, you can see industrials kind of keep the relative strength that you see now. So looking at this guy, I think it's more likely to see him take his time to get to this than him go like straight through that. Even if the which one do I want to use for the Dow on this thing? Use NDX, all right, DJI. Even if he goes fucking ape shit right fucking now, if he arcs out of here, I think the NAS would lag it, and he'd probably kind of be a beleaguered move until the NAS could really, really chase it and the whole market got velocity. I guess we did something in here a long time ago. What is this? Okay, that's probably a logarithmic chart. Anyways, back to what we're doing. Jesus Christ. So we got that guy. And then, one sec. You guys like, ooh, an all chart show. Got a little woody, don't you? Take it easy. I'm going to bore you in a little bit. All right, this is on the profile. Where did I put you? There it is. So with all that we just looked at, I want you to think about this: that all of what we just looked at with those three major black swan events, all of those fit into just here. This is even a bubble. This is the housing bubble. So that's Enron, Madoff, and Sam. And Sam is it contained within, believe it or not, the entire corrective structure that contains Sam and all what's going on since November is this. How's that for context, right? All the crises we just looked at over here, all of this is contained just from here. And all of the fucking trauma end of the world shit with Powell is contained just within there. Oh, I told you guys a long time ago when I posted this thing, right? In life, you can be happy. Rule 1, don't call tops. Rule 2, never fight the Fed. It could all be just that simple, right? Oracle vibes, bitches. Oracle vibes. Just a blip on the radar, right? For 100 years, they've gotten it right. This is the one moment they fucked it up. The one thing is, as long as people constantly bet against the Fed, that's the main sentiment you need, right? They are the arbiters of the system, and the people who are betting against them are literally byproducts of the system that have no idea. It couldn't be any more fucking defining of ignorance and circling valley if I've ever seen it. We reached 102, yay. I guess I didn't tell people we were here. My bad. Shout out to Ray dropping some supportive bits to the show. Mon, Pickles, Duber, Bear, Bull. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, crazy shit, right? Some pretty good looking charts, right? And you see how much information you can contain in a really simple chart. Like, look at it. Like, there's just nothing, and then there's Fed, and then there is the world on fire. You know, these guys know what they're doing, and they've had to correct many fucking excesses out of the system. I'm sure if we look into the Great Depression, there is a ton of versions of this shit, that the Ponzi schemes that we see here, that probably got annihilated in that wave. They should have been annihilated in the very same wave. This wave is fractally similar to this one here. I would imagine this has a Madoff of its era back inside of this if we looked for it. So, like, you know, these guys know what they're doing. They know when the cycle is maturing to the point that the thing that's lurking in it has to get popped, or he becomes much, much more dangerous. Because if you imagine if they were to, like, say, stimulate the market here and hold it before Enron blew up and turn the market, or turn it before Madoff got liquidated, how big would Madoff be if Madoff survived this shit? He's still the biggest fucking crime in history. And fucking he didn't even ride up this fucking dick wave. He would have fucking blown up fucking whole countries. Like, he would have taken down like major G7 nations by the time he got popped. So these guys have to get flushed out. There's no fucking way you can leave these things in here, because they thrive off the velocity of credit into the system. So as long as there's a credit expansion, these guys, mechanics, will absorb fucking, risk-seeking lunatics that think they're going to get crazy returns in the kind of, like, offerings you see in these Ponzi's. Stable coins are the same thing, right? Having any excess money, you take US dollars that the government gives you and say, fuck it, I can get fucking 8% instead of fucking like 1. It's free fucking money, right? They had to fucking capture also some risk that no one saw, which was the fact those stable coins were only living off the velocity of credit. There was no actual ability to have a stabilized, equivalent to the US dollar at a 7 to 8 point differential in yield. That's fucking bonkers. Any idiot that understands anything about fucking lending markets know that's not sustainable. So, this is showing you just how good the Fed architects the market, from just the fucking internet bubble cycle through to where we are. And then looking at it for each of these versions, there's likely a version of those three things we just saw in this. Think how crazy that is, right? They definitely seen this movie before I saw it. So, pretty crazy shit. See a question. Do you think crypto does a new lower low if that's tech? If tech goes through the floor like that, crypto goes with it. Like, you have to think about the sentiments that are in the bottom of those. So I've lived through all those crashes you see there, and I know the news flow at the time. I'm in the market at the time. So the bottom of these things, right? And so it's like, this looks really simple to look back in hindsight, but let's go ahead and get this penis off the chart. This is just not helping the situation. So we look at this guy, and you have to think like, just imagine you're back, and this is the current chart. This is Armageddon to everyone who's alive, right? Everyone who's looking at this chart, this is fucking the end of stocks. And there are people who traded from like, the mid 90s and early 90s that I met, and this was the end of their careers, right? I was in a fund that 9/11 fucking liquidated that thing, and it knocked it out right here in March. And the guys I met that traded here, like literally fucking talked to them 15 years later, and they were just not coming back. They never came back. We have people in the ecosystem who went out of the market, who did really well and went out of the market in this, before the market caught them, didn't get damaged. But the psychological damage of this, 9/11, made people look away from stocks. There was generations of people who never played again. And that's where this pump comes from. And this same thing is true here. I know people who got liquidated with 5 and 9 fucking properties, and they're financially devastated still to this fucking day. They're not participants in any of this. And so you have like generational emotional damage that happens in each of these bottoms that takes people cyclically out. This same thing's gonna be true here. There are people who are never gonna want to look at crypto ever fucking again. But it's gonna have to spread to fucking, NFTs and everything crypto. NFTs are like absolutely an increased risk, on top of fucking Bitcoin. These things are fucking like illiquid, fucking all cash, really expensive assets for the average crypto trader. They're gonna have to fucking never want to put those things on their fucking Twitter account and have people call you stupid for having those on your Twitter account to have the sentiment match what the fuck was going on here. If you told people I'm flipping real estate in 2009, people look like you're fucking out of your mind. We had houses that I was getting. Like when you talk about cost new is like, for anybody who's not, US based and doesn't know this, the government gives you an estimate like in the county records of cost new, meaning what it costs to replace your home should, like, say a fire burn it to the ground. So if you get an insurance fucking claim, you go to the insurance company, the insurance company will bill back the raw materials of that house at cost new, and then that asset being put back in place has whatever the fuck its market value actually is. So you can have a house that's worth like $500,000, but the cost new is like 147. That's the cost to build the physical structure, and putting it in that location makes it worth 500,000. So we were getting houses that were fucking 50% off of cost new. That's actually unfucking heard of. A physical brick and mortar asset that I can buy at half the fucking cost of fucking burning it to the ground and having the insurance company put it back. It's like free money on free money. Rental yields through the ceiling, and people look at you like you're insane, like fuck you and your piece of shit house. That's literally fucking 1/10 of what they wanted to buy for fucking 12 months before. That's just like psychological generational fucking exit the fuck out. You need that for absolutely the riskiest things that we have in crypto, which are all the PFPs that are still sitting around with people waiting for fucking like crypto to pump their fucking shit to fucking moon. That was a mouthful. And I have cotton mouth and did not bring water. Not the smartest. But anyways, so that's a lot of words. You guys get all that? Oracle vibes. So, anyhow, that is the thing that if it comes around here with, if Sam is a point in the system to give us an idea where we are in the cycle, and we have something like the fucking end of that shit's the worst. We still like telling you look at this and you're not in the time period. You don't realize it, but this last part, when you're zoomed in and you're like living through this, is the worst part, right? If I could take you back into history, right? This looks apocalyptic because you look back here, but when stuff's unfolding, people don't know it, right? The bullish sentiment in here is what allows this fucking flag to flag up and people not fucking detect it's about to kill them. They think it's about to go to new highs, right? And the sentiment doesn't really like take hold till you're way down here. Inside the fund that I was in, there were guys still calling it a tech bull market here, past 9/11. There were guys still saying we're still in a tech bull market. I'm like, what the fuck chart are you looking at? Gracias, I appreciate you. And it was crazy. Like I looked at this, the guy that was training me, he was big on gold, and they were telling him, why are you tying up all this margin in the middle of a tech bull market? And they liquidated his gold stuff to put towards tech and got raped in this. So no one saw it like that, But this last wave, made sure everybody saw it like that. Everyone who still hung on to hope that the tech bull market was going to happen, like, Alterback, this put them into fucking other jobs. The guy who traded futures, I saw him at the bus stop in front of the airport. He looked like something out of a fucking movie, like the worst luck movie I've ever seen. I've never seen that guy again, if he's alive. Like, it put people fucking completely out. One of the guys in there that used to swim. It's a very loud word. One sec. One of the guys in there, somebody's ears just got exploded, that used to sling fucking sizes you couldn't fucking believe, called me like literally a decade and a half later from like a telemarketing thing with a headset on. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you still trade? I'm like, you don't? I'm like, what the fuck happened? It just never even considered coming back. And it's the craziest thing. They went away because, in these cycles, people build lives with a cycle that are no longer sustainable. You come into the marketplace and it's 1999 and you're 24 years old and you're making crazy money and you have enough money to start a family in fucking 2001. You still think it's a bull market. You still have some ups on it. You bought a house. You have a baby coming. You're into your late 20s. This fucking puts you into shit street in the back of your 20s. You're gonna have to fucking save house and home right now. You might not even be able to take the risk to come back, and that's a generation out. And that happens every time. Graduated college, got a fucking house, walked into this, fucking kids, car, fucking short sale, wrecked, credit wrecked, whole market leaves, no capacity to buy. And so the same thing is gonna be true here. The people who are holding a lot of your blue chip projects are gonna not have the capacity to buy. That's what it takes to bottom out the cycle and put you in depression and watch your fucking house leave you in somebody else's hands for fucking 1/10 what you paid for and watch them flip it through the ceiling. That's a lot. This is supposed to be a fun winter show. So I'll stop traumatizing everybody. So you guys give me some Reddit posts or what? It's been a minute since I got some Reddit stuff. Reddit. Let's check. Oh. What just happened? I don't know if I read this one. Do we know this one? Abracadabra. I think I did read this one. Let me check. Wait a minute. No, I didn't. All right, let me see. I haven't seen that before. Have I been off the air that long? How's that possible? I didn't see this? Anyways. A little chapter about risk management. The situation I found myself was definitely something I did not plan risk for. What a lesson. Here's what happened. I had a plan for the overnight trade, opened my position on OKX exchange with usual risk for 1 hour and left. In the morning, I found out that the platform was not working due to a failure of cloud service of its provider. It was shut down for more than 12 hours while the price dropped below my trigger and stop loss. I had to close the position manually with a loss of 3.5 hours with OKX reopened. That sucks ass. Yeah, platform failures are the fucking worst. This is a whole nother way to lose money you didn't plan for. Even if you plan the trade and set your stop loss, you always need to keep in mind the idea of force majeure that is uncontrolled. That time it was exchanged, but it can be any other problem like internet failure, electric problems, whatever. That definitely made me think differently and broader about risk. Reminder, after FTX, keeping on exchange only what you trade and made a new habit of regular withdrawals. Emotions do not help, so it's a must to stay calm and make your brain work logically. The exchange was not ready for this failure either because they did not have any solutions to back up their platform once the failure happened. As you teach us, crypto is risk itself. Manage accordingly. This is a great lesson for me, and I hope that it will be useful for our members. Stay safe, everybody. Happy holidays and your families. Awesome. Appreciate you on that. Yeah, remember, a lot of these guys will disclose in there that they're not responsible for software failure or any of that stuff, and so they all the risk is in your lap. All your brokerages will tell you that too. If you fucking have like a number hit and all of a sudden your execution shit will work, or you're stuck and get fucking like slipped through the fucking ceiling, they're not responsible for any of it. They make sure they know all the disclosures. You check box and don't read. You sign their fucking life away on that. You have no fucking recourse with this shit. Like I said on last show, there's no one to call. The system's meant to kill retail. Good shit. Appreciate that one. Well then, do I have numbers on here I didn't know? Let me see. It's the 28th. It's Wednesday. I don't think. What do we have left? Wow. That's pretty ridiculous. Is that right? That looks crazy. Well, nothing. Unemployment on Thursday. And PMI. Wow, that's barren. And that's even more barren. See, you motherfuckers should be on vacation. What are you guys all doing here? I can't believe there's even 100 people on here for the holiday, so I appreciate everybody that showed up. That's pretty cool. try to put some good stuff in here for your winter closeout. We are at 8:56, so spoke about the fractal. Let's see, I had this guy that I made here. This was the wave. You guys like it? I slipped in a nice little logo action. So actually, I have this guy actually up in chain. It's probably better to put him there. Let me just get him in the chain I have him in. You love the N. Oh my God, you guys see this shit? Look at this shit. I was trying to show you the last one, I couldn't find it. So when have you ever seen a criminal that looks like me get a fucking AI fucking treatment to try and make this fucking reptile not look as fucking busted as she is? Does it just not look like they're criminals that stole $1 billion to anybody, or is it just me? And who in the hell wanted 20 versions of fucking Gollum? You realize that this computer couldn't figure out a way to make this thing not look repulsive? And that, then what we see in AI art is it fucking annihilates every conventional artist in the world. And even it can't fix this bitch. But yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Nobody wanted that. And you know, and before she's getting painted by fucking whatever the fuck, like, get the fuck out of here. These people are super criminals. What the fuck? When have you ever seen fucking people of color that are criminals depicted like this? Even when we're successful, we're depicted like criminals. This is ridiculous. But yeah, footprint things. Anyways, this guy here. So what I was showing you, if you look at like where we marked it on the crash cycle fractals here. So if you look at this point, right, it's like a high point in each one of them, except for like, you know, where this dot is obviously slightly off the high of that one. What did I just do? No, wrong page. Yeah, we'll use this one. So that is literally the wave of anger. If you remember, we had, I don't think I'll be able to pull it up fast here and efficiently. I can try it. Anger. Right. These guys. Remember these guys? They tried to call the anger phase, and they called it like half a year late. So you rolled out of the anger, you got a 2B on it, is what we just had. And so now you're coming back through it off of this peak. This allows the move here, the real anger phase, to fucking obliterate SBF and bottom us into a depression wave. Go back to where I was. Bottoms into a depression wave that should be shaped something like, where do you go? Like that. And then from the bottom, right, we look for our lowest low point of our bull flag. And then whatever shapes up to give us our potentially highest floor, you know, we know that shape before it happens. It's where you should put the question mark and stuff. So like this thing over here, right? You pump off the floor and be like, question mark, is this thing going to possibly set up to do this? And then, you know, that's pretty much what your bottoms always have to look like. So there's a good chance with fucking SBF we have a real good idea where we're in the Fed cycle. And we know they're keeping pressure on the market into the next year. So that's exactly like Enron pushing into fucking 02. And exactly like Madoff pushing into 09. So this should push into 03, and then the Fed said they should moderate their cycle by the end of not 03, oh my God, 23. And that, I think, puts us in a place where they become more accommodative and probably to deal with, you know, the situation still going on in Europe and whatever that morphs into, they'll have to support the market. So if they do that and put a tailwind to it, that should be the spot where we have, like, you know, the ability to fucking really inflate risk assets again. And if you're probably still going to be running slightly higher inflation than they want to have when they're going to be forced into a position to accommodate the economy. So, is that detailed enough? All right, that was that. And what am I at? 9 o'clock. All right, I'm not going to the fucking bell this time. That's definitely not good for all of us. So let's see. Let me try and catch up with some of your stuff there. Agrajo, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but shout out, man, for the $100. Appreciate you. Thanks as always for profound insights and education. Happy New Year. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, hope you guys learned a lot from the show. You incorporate a lot of this stuff into your own stuff, and you always, you know, make sure you watch this show. A lot of people will sit there and think they're gonna just absorb it. Like draw shit that you see I draw here. Draw that fractal. Keep track of that shit. See how the SBF fractal evolves. It's pretty like, amazing to see where this shit happens in the cycle if we get the same exact shape. Um, Hope we get rid of triple digit ETH after all if that depression wave plays out. I mean, if that depression wave plays out, people are gonna be fucking wrecked. Like I said, what would it take to make people not want to fucking like be seen with their Bored Ape on or their CryptoPunk or their clone or any of that? Like what level of destruction from here would it take? And like it's kind of nuts. Like what you come down from 5,000 on the Nasdaq and you're like bouncing around like in the teens, like 15 to 19, and once it goes down one more time into the fucking trench in '02, like just that's it, right? The last fucking decline, just that's what breaks everyone's back. Some of these PFPs are down like 60, 70%, and it's you look at the average decline in the internet bubble, it's like around just over 90%. Crypto was like 94% or something like that. I think depending what index you use, but crypto is relatively deeper in its pullback, which like 90% of the market has to get wiped out. So it has to be in a place where nobody wants to talk about their PFPs or nobody wants to hear about your new fucking your new DeFi Ponzi. Crypto is going to have to look toxic as real estate look toxic as tech stocks look toxic. It's a catalyst, right? Like it's the fact that like the system is contracting and popped him out of it, but he is part of the process of completely flushing the system down the tubes. Once you cut off the influx of credit, once the yield curve inverts, there's like literally no money coming to the system, and this whole thing's like a hot air balloon. If you stop pulling the flame, the fucker will just cool off and start to fall out of the sky. And the Fed is basically doing that and seeing who fucking jumps. And so on its way down, it's flushing out stuff like that. And this washout will cause a regulatory shift and just completely cripple the industry that it happened in. And that whole rotation, with no support of the Fed, risk, people seeking risk will run for the fucking hills, and it will continue to just deflate and destroy everything else in there. And at that point, the Fed will stimulate it. They come in and they support the market. They didn't just doesn't recover by itself. The Fed pops up. They PPT the fuck out of that shit in the housing bubble. So the Fed is 100%. If you take it, they're just counter trading the whole fucking country. Well, you look at Madoff and Enron. They were like the big things of those cycles. They were the biggest thing of the cycle. Genome had some good AUD trades. Good shit, man. I like to see more Forex traders here. Yeah, they were the big it of the cycle. I think SBF's the big it of this cycle. And I think he happens like fractal location that's like Enron. And then you just completely bleed out into a place that you get regulations. And you guys know what the regulations were. In the internet bubble, it was pattern day trade law, which kicked out the average retail trader that didn't have $25,000 for even day trading anymore. So we're probably going to get something that makes crypto even more restrictive for U.S. citizens to trade. And I see Warren is going after trying to get regulations to go after self-custody. So they want to see your crypto, right? They want to turn it into something that's just like what they have in the banking system. And they want to have the ability to fucking like stop you from basically, using it if they want to. They want control of your access to liquidity, right? If the control of your money, stopping you from spending if you don't obey their rules is fucking key to maintaining control of civilization the way they're doing it. So they're trying to get their hands on your crypto, and SBF is just giving them a great fucking avenue to say, hey, problem, reaction, solution, we're going to save you from yourselves. Let us watch your crypto. So, and that's what Goldman Sachs and all of them want. They want fucking to get hold of your crypto, and you trade a derivative of Bitcoin. We talked about that fucking over a year ago. That was a real big play. The real money, in gold is not fucking like, how high gold goes, but it's transactions on gold. And no one really has gold. People trade all kinds of things derived from gold. And that is a giant revenue stream for the market makers that provide it. You're going to trade an asset that is something derived from Bitcoin, and you're not going to hold your Bitcoin. And they're going to fucking rape you in fees across time. Hey, Kaz, patent day trader law affects USA. Could they implement something that affects crypto worldwide? Patent day trader law affects any person in the world that trades stocks in the USA. It's not trading CFDs in some other shitbox exchange where you trade stocks in the USA. Anyone touching the U.S. market is subject to patent day trader laws. What's going to happen crypto worldwide off SBF? I have no idea. I'm speaking pretty much from the regulatory standpoint of the United States, but so goes U.S. regulation, so goes a lot of the financial system. So you do want to watch what the Congress does over here. What happens in the UK or what they do with it over there, no, I have no idea. That's I haven't got enough ears to the street on that to see, but I would be curious to see if they work in tandem with financial authorities in Europe. I think they would, because the problem is going to be deemed that risky. All right, let me get to. That was a lot. 906. All right, let me find the where we're at. Oops, come on, change. All right, update. All right, so this is our S&P guy that we're watching here. We always use him as our broader market, but right now we've been tilting watching the Dow because he's definitely performing quite differently. He's held his little bounce off of this angle 3 times. Not the healthiest looking thing you've ever seen. It's a rotate off. I don't generally like to see prices sit on top of the down angle. The Qs have looked like absolute dog shit, so they've rotated through their down angle. That's correlated with what we're watching in Dow and SPY. I think going on to here is what I told you. I thought this was a good trigger spot this low, and you can see here like we had a projected wave and rotation of this flag, and it did hold the area that I thought we should hold. This is a good swing level I put here at 260.79. So I think under there is a structure like this is terminal. If you see that in the Nas, that will be a bad thing. And I do think the Nas, like he reflects tech, he reflects the risk in crypto, much like I told you guys about coin, right? Keep track of coin. Coin has a setup that looks like FTX. And he's literally going down like fucking with no brakes on it, and no one can really detect like exactly what is actually hurting them so bad if they don't have any kind of systemic risk like Sam did. These guys are literally just melting with likely the change in regulations that are coming and somebody knows about that are going to be really restrictive to exchanges operating in the United States. Let alone affect anybody abroad. But Coinbase is the one public listed company that has the most regulatory scrutiny up its asshole. That is, literally reflecting risk in crypto. And the fucking worse this guy performance, it's not good for crypto as a whole. So, if you see triple digit ETH prices, you might not be sure they're going to be where you think they are when they get there. But if people waiting for 800, if it's coming through there, it's blowing 800 out. It goes through Trolex here, just like this emotion level, it's going to be a big level. It's going to cause a fucking gas pedal move through here. So if you see a fucking flag on Trolex, I would have all hands on deck for that. If this is going to do a wave down like what we saw for the anger to depression phase, and it's not a blip like where Madoff happened, right? Madoff, if you look at him, the market's like destroyed by the time he fucking basically hands his assets over. This is where he hands his assets over to FCC, but he's kind of revealed. I think here in November is where he's kind of leaked out, and then the market bottoms out over here. I think tech goes through the floor, or S&P goes through the floor here, a little lower, but this is kind of where you get your double bottom on the NASDAQ. But this is still where the full depression is, and nobody wants shit in March. It's very different than the sentiment in December. People are still like mind fucked by the speed things are coming apart everywhere. If here, fucking people are just vaporized. So you need something like that. Just fucking, I don't want to see it anymore mentality. That's what we're looking for. I don't know if I can do this with this much of an audience watching this, but we're gonna try to make sure we stay on the right side of this. This thing turns into that kind of apocalypse. You don't want to get caught in this. This is the kind of thing that some of the viewers who are not watching closely, this will take you fucking out, a generation out. You be 25 or fucking 35 and get hit by this fucking wave. Your fucking like entire idea of like speculating and trading, fuck no, you're gonna be fucking like flipping burgers or fucking throwing boxes in the back of UPS truck. You want to pay attention. If this fucking thing unfolds, this is a death wave. So right now Elon is caught in his own version of it. It's coming down like a fucking missile. Let me go. This is not the right chart for Elon. Let's go. Where's Elon's chart at? He's kind of like symbolic of the kind of risks that we look at. People are willing to take with crypto, and he's gassing, like coin's gassing, and this is your first major range. If he goes through this, I don't think he should go through like a stick. I think this range, like I said, you probably get some kind of a bounce in this. I don't think he goes right through this in a single shot. That would be epically bad. It's the 1 out of 10 that you have the velocity just plow a volume range out with no interactions whatsoever, especially when it's this big and it led to your all-time high. So if there's a place that he could fucking bounce like he bounced on the top of it, he could probably bounce right here as he has confluence with the previous volume range and the very base. So it's moving, it's parabolic, right? This is the kind of thing, well, I'm going to short it now. This is just gone from me if you didn't get it. So Elon's definitely suffering that. It's definitely not, him solely causing this issue. This is the Fed de-risking the market. Everyone looks like this. So that being said, what does hubris have to do with anything? He's had that arrogant attitude for a decade. People love to think that somebody who's who believes in themselves somehow deserves some kind of fucking like universal smite. That's a very terrible way to look at things. It's actually just reflects on what you think of him, and hubris might be what you see from your vantage point. You got to step boldly into the unknown to do the shit that motherfucker's doing. Dude, that motherfucker has a spaceship, a fucking Mars driller, and a fucking like an EV company, and just took over the most crazy fucking social platform. That's not hubris. That's balls. Know the difference. He is a troll though. I could say that. But you know, the hubris thing really just speaks of like this kind of like really negative karma idea of karma, which is like karma's gonna pay you back because I don't like the way you act, and you can't personalize karma like that. It's kind of silly. Anyways, so let's see symbols if I can get them in here. I think that kind of tells you what we're looking at, right? So DXY didn't do that. Let me put him on here. Where the hell is he? Still watching this guy, still camping out in this box range. So nothing changed from that from last time, right? We're watching this range mature, and you watch them across guys like this. These guys are all sitting high and tight. I think GBP's gotten significantly weaker. So he's pulled back actually to this angle. So this was the wedge we drew on the last one, and he wedged out. He's rotated off this 2B. He's back in an angle, and the dollar's sitting on that base. So if this angle could actually hold right now, might be a timing to pay attention to DXY sitting here. And if he gets life to come out, you know, to bar down out of this, and GBP could rotate off the angle, and this could actually keep on pumping this channel up. So it actually looks like that's what it's kind of setting up for. The euro itself kind of looks like what GBP did before he rotated back, and he looks kind of sketchy. The correct angle to watch him on is here. I don't feel like he's hit any angle he's got to die on. He could get a little higher if he wanted to, but GBP might be the guy showing a little bit better timing on what's going on here. VIX, keeping an eye on this guy. This is the same chart, so we're still watching the monolith kill level, and this is the blue projection we did off of like the previous projection before we rotated, and we kind of just drew this in. So we're still watching for this, right? We're camped out just north of 21, and you know that it would be better if we could see some velocity down to 21. So it's holiday light trading today. It's 9:13. I'm not trying to get too far outside of time slot I promised I wasn't gonna do. You can throw in some of your symbols because I keep missing these. So this is, don't know if that's the only MasterCard chart I have. That's definitely not it. Okay, so we haven't done MasterCard in a long time. So this looks like last time we had it, no bull flag breakout occurred here. No bull flag last time we looked at it here. What you have at this point is me fucking flushing everything on this chart down the fucking tubes and drawing the symbol of it. That's what he's got right there. Now, you know, financials and industrials tend to go a lot together. Financials themselves have definitely been a bit of a struggle. We can look at Citigroup and some of these guys' banks have been bad. But then you look on fucking like in the brokerage side, and the brokerage guys have been really good. MasterCard, you know, Visa, kind of languishing a bit, but you can see it in both of them. They're making bigger flags, right? Like I think ultimately like a bigger resolution like we looked at in those fractal charts. These guys, this whole market's bound northward. You know, do I think they have the strength behind them you want? Not just yet, but those are structures that are easy to keep on radar. I think at right now, you're probably looking at much bigger scales. But you got a lot of guys that are strong, you know, inside industrials. I mean, most people take their eyes off this motherfucker. And IBM, that guy's a fucking beast. You remember him? Blast from the past, or Caterpillar. These guys, these industrial guys, look fucking insane, right? Northrop Grumman is that on this chart? Yeah, all these dudes, right? There is strength in the market, even as crazy as tech looks. I mean, this looks nothing like Tesla, right? If you're looking at the right side of the market. All right, that was MasterCard, BMY. Oh, well, I didn't what I say about MasterCard anyway. So big ass fucking bull flag that. Yeah, I think you just keep him on watch, not much more than that. BMY, Bristol Myers Squibb. I guess we've had some stuff on him. What's the resolution of this guy? He's huge. Wow. Okay, so we drew this up what he looked like here from 09. So big ass rotation. This is a 09 rotation here, and he's taking this long to fully break himself on top of the system. So 2B, another 2B. I think you sit back and let him stabilize on top of this. And this is a big macro, but you're looking for something up here along those lines. If he fizzles this out, right, the danger is that he completes a bear flag here and he rotates off here, and you're going to have to contextualize for rotation to play a downside wave if he really fails this and pulls back harder. So those are the two scenarios you've got right here at the inflection point. SGML. What am I at? Some going to be 9:20 in 2 seconds, right? I feel like I did the stuff at SGML. No, which one is the old chart again? This one, SGML. Okay. Lithium Corporation. So with Elon right now, everything that's fucking lithium is getting fucking shit canned. So that's something to pay attention to. Like Elon EVs, so they're all coming down at his speed, right? So we do want to pay attention to that. If you want to get some confluence here, Elon is down inside that volume range, and lithium's down parabolic into this range. So it's a good place for him to like at least stall the fuck out at the speed it's kind of going. But lithium, everything looks like fucking like my asshole right now, and you don't want to look at that. But yeah, so that's what that guy is. So he's gonna need just within his space, like, you know, the whole place to stabilize. Yeah, lithium's just not where it's at right now. So that guy actually has a pretty ugly setup. If we get any more gas like that anger phase going to depression, this should fucking probably floor this right through there with it. If Elon takes any more of a beating. JSEAMS. JSE? Anglo-American. Oh, it's gold stock? This is Anglo. This is them over here. I like to use this graph in the US dollar ones. So watching this, like, gold has looked pretty good, right? If you guys keep track of like gold and silver stuff, these guys have had some like really good strength on lower resolutions, like some basic materials like that are actually strong. Not like lithium and shit like that. Dudes like this, like, you know, silver mining, Newmont, these dudes are showing like, you know, decent relative strength on the low end here, while no one's really paying attention to it. Gold has actually been relatively strong too, while the market's been kind of like, you know, only leaning to industrials. Basic materials, industrials, precious metals are all, you know, keeping some amount of strength, while tech is just getting obliterated. What did you say here? So SGML, so JSE, AMS, let me look at your chart, how different he is. So you were affected, I think, by this currency, right? By what's going on USD ZAR. Alright, well, all things being equal. That's your stop run on that guy. He's got an expanding formation, so he basically blew out both sides of this and killed people. You can hold this 2B. He did this little box range. That's your first floor, and then you just looking for anything that sustains above it. I think the old high you've got here is a good spot for him not to wick through and come back. And if you can get him to do the dance, you're looking for something like that, he's going to go across the range. Anything else, though, you're playing inside of a fucking very big expanding formation. He's safer to wait for him to come outside here and set up something that lets him play off the top of this thing. My arrows are fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck's been going on with these things. Dude, okay, well, it's back. All right, good. So up here, and something that structures out inside that thing, probably a better place to pay attention to that guy. If he gets up there. What time I got? 9:19, motherfuck. XMR USDT. God, what chart do I have XMR on? XMR USD should be Polo. Sweet, I got Polo. There's whatever ancient XMR chart that is. That's not what I even remember. What the fuck is that? It's that XMR USD. That's where I always have you, right? Polo. Yeah, all my XMR charts. Oh yeah, okay, that's the other one. All right, well, I don't know what the fuck this is. Did we just on the show? I can't remember. Anyways. XMR USDT, I think, like I said, crypto USDT is probably not the place, as long as this motherfucker stays like doing what he's doing here, right? This is the big danger we had from last show. Remember we talked about this guy? So we had an expanding formation, same thing, broke out, just like we just looked at on the last graph, and sat inside this range, one more 2B, and we're back in here. So this is still big danger, right? USDT is sitting in a crazy, crazy location. And you should be paying attention to him breaking through that threshold. If he rotates this up right now, that is no bueno. So USDT himself doesn't look good, but where does XMR actually look good? looks good relative to other crypto assets at this point, but not really to anything else. Let's see, where is he at here? All right, this is one I put into, I think, OnlyFans or Market Prep inside Discord. So you guys should have this one, or maybe the other OnlyFans, even one of them. You guys have this guy, but he's been tracking along. I know a few of them hitting this guy as he's been going. And XMR is a place that you watch for in a de-risking cycle in crypto, because people who are big whales who don't want to come out of crypto, and when there's regulations coming, there's only one hiding place in crypto that fucking anybody trusts, and it's still XMR. It's not Zcash, it's not any of that shit. It's XMR. So when you're risk off, right? Yeah, Bitcoin dominance tends to be stronger. We talked about that. So a lot of Bitcoin dominance is rising, these capital flowing away from Bitcoin. And then if XMR BTC is stronger than Bitcoin, capital is flowing away now from shitcoins into Bitcoin into a hiding place. That just tells you there is a risk avoidance going on right now, and hence coin looks like my asshole, right? We're back to that again. So, all right, I think I killed it. I'm not going to do the USDC ratio real fast, but I have this chart already set up. One of these is it. There he is. So this is our big fractal LTC. This is the OG LTC winter chart, if you guys remember that guy. And this is our main target area low, is down in this box range, like 25 LTCs, where I thought he should get to do his rotation. He never made it out of here. He's actually migrated sideways out of the angle, but he's not done really shit since. We have a decent swing level we like here at 84, which is the top of this wave, which is a great breakout to go into fucking the highs of this cycle. So that's where the upside, you pay attention to alerts on that. Barring that, this has a chance to go down and change this angle and just, flag down in here if there's another down wave in tech and, risk assets. So I think you're kind of just in a wait and see mode, like right for him right now. If I clean this up a little bit down there, this bear channel just basically got just a lot bigger and a lot more, lower gradient. So kind of like an ugly setup if you wanted to plot it like that, but he's really got nothing going right now. I think you're just waiting for this, or this turns to a bear flag, goes down, and this angle goes out slightly more, and we go towards that 2023-24 timing with LTC and crypto all together. That's what we're talking about. So keep your eyes on that. I think you can still get it, because this is the same thing here. If you think about this, when this was coming down, you would have drawn the angle like so. And it's a good thing to go back and think about how your TA evolves over time. Right? When this is a downtrend, he's a downtrend here, and he migrates out sideways. See it? Basically one of those flat bear flags, and then fucking goes off a cliff, and you've got to migrate your fucking angle. That's what I'm telling you is potentially possible when you watch this right here. That looks just like that. It's a flat fucking bear flag, not like, it's as sharp as like this, but fucking just some flat bullshit that goes straight out through the angle and then drops and changes the angle of attack on your trend line. So anyways, past the exact time I didn't want to do. Hope you guys feel informed. This has been the return of the Oracle. Bitches. Jose, appreciate you. 900 ARS. I'm not sure what that is. Is that Argentinian pesos? What are those? No worries. CCJ, I'm not going to pull that guy off there. But it's 924. I had something else another gem I wanted to show you guys. Maybe I'll have to do another winter special and throw it in there. But hope you learned some stuff and enjoyed the show. Thanks for coming check us out on the holidays. For all of you diehards that still made it, we appreciate you. And for everybody Tucson business, I appreciate you guys also. Shout out to everybody in the crew, Acolytes. I'll catch up with you guys. Nebula. Stay safe today if you trade. The market is not so liquid. If you make big bucks quick, don't sit there all day. Take your money and run. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4.
Now you know I can't leave if homeboy tipped me to do USDC versus USDT. I gotta get it in here. So, sorry. Back again. Just saw that. Alright. That chart looks like shit. TA over it. No, I'm kidding. This is the big worry, right? Right now, USDC over USDT. If that's a flag, that would be USDC breaking down on USDT. And that's probably what no one's actually thinking, right? I think a lot of people are worried about Tether more than they're worried about USDC. USDC. Oh shit. I see you. There's a screen. Dish, don't get your panties in a bunch. So right now, this is a bear flag and USDC tanks against USDT. This is pretty much what no one's expecting, right? Everyone's pretty much been fighting Tether for as long as we've been in the game. But USDT.D, I think we had a chart for him too over here. USDTC.D. No, we had a box trigger on him back here. So you can watch him in tandem with the one we watch. Both of these guys. But there's a differential to them, right? USDT Tether has been the stronger one, and Tether's the one who gets most of the FUD. Huh? It's not. Yeah, I'm sure. No, I got it. No, I caught it. All right, USDT has gotten most of the FUD, and go figure, he's the one who's relatively stronger than fucking FedCoin, because we know USDC has fucking issues. So the strongest stablecoin in the game is the one everyone wishes would fail, right? So right now, USDC.D/USDT. Jesus Christ Almighty. Fucking shit. Where's my drawings at? God damn it. Right. Right now, I think you're paying close attention to this right now because USDC we know has problems. And the FUD is heavy on Tether. So if I had to tell you, it looks a lot like it's about to set up for some shit like that. So I know stable coins aren't safe. So I think that's been shown right now this year. But that's what it looks like at this point in time. So the resolution is pretty terrible, but you should fucking keep track of at least the downward trajectory of this in case it violates it and he manages to rotate and structure out and something's really wrong with Tether. So all right, I got your stable coins in there. My bad for missing them. Got everything. Get your asses to your battle station. You have 1 fucking minute, motherfuckers. We out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly.